From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Good morning, everyone. Well, today is still a bit of that waiting game for many of us. We're going to start to see that rain begin to kind of progress, and snow, for that matter, on top in the higher elevations, progress eastward here through the afternoon. But the heaviest activity for most of us is going to be here tonight and into tomorrow. And of course, that'll continue into your Wednesday, Thursday, and even quite possibly into Friday. Let's get you through Kruger's Quickcast here. This is just a quick look at the forecast before we go into the deeper dive. And a quick tease into that deeper dive. This is what I'm tracking. We do have the flood potential along with the potential for mudslides and debris flows. We've also got the snow. Now, snow levels could get as low as 2,000 feet through the day today and into even tonight. But for the most part, generally between 2,000 and 3,000 feet. So some areas at those 2,000 foot levels are going to be borderline. And then, of course, we've got those gusty winds here that will potentially lead to those power outages as well. So something to take into account as we go over the next few days. Still have the freeze warning here till 10 o'clock this morning for the valley and the surrounding foothills. Temperatures possibly dropping down into the low 30s for some of us in the valley. And you can see just how cold it will be this morning. Temperatures mainly in the 20s for the higher elevations. Some scattered showers for the coast, maybe some snow flurries this morning as well for Trinity County and western Siskiyou County. But for most of us, that is, not really much in the way of that rain or snow. Now, there you can see still some chain requirements out there this morning. So if you do drive a big rig, just note that there are still some slick roads out there from some of the snow that we have seen. Now, take a look at this. This is all the moisture that's beginning to at least move in. Here's the area of low pressure. All this energy, as you can clearly see, is moving our way. A nice little stream of moisture that will eventually have big impact on us over the next few days. Let's take a closer look at that and show you on Futurecast. We're going to walk you through it at least for today. There you can see 2,500, 3,500 feet. So again, we're going to be borderline places like Weaverville, Hayfork, maybe seeing some of that snow out there today. We got some of that colder air that will be trapped today, but then we'll see that warmer air mix in as that warmer, more moist air begins to move in here over the next few days. But you can see here, I'm just going to average it out between 2,500, 3,500 feet for today. Showers kicking in for the coast. Heaviest rainfall at noon, still off to our west. As we take you through the afternoon, here's 5 o'clock. Still the heaviest rainfall is here, but we're starting to see some of that heavy rainfall for the coast, Trinity County, and it's just beginning to enter the valley as well. Valley seeing some of the light showers by 5 o'clock this afternoon, but off to the east, you're just not seeing much in the way of that rain or snow for that matter. Now, the winds are going to be a concern here. There is a high wind warning for central Siskiyou County, Modoc County, wind advisory that's just been issued here for tonight through Wednesday. We also have a high wind warning for the coast. So let's take a look at those winds here, again, at least just for today, so you have an idea what to expect. Not that bad. Winds are picking up this morning. There's the noon hour today. Now we're seeing 30, 40 mile an hour gusts. Central Siskiyou County, very strong winds. High profile vehicles could have some problems today. 5 p.m. Now the winds are starting to pick up here for the valley and even off to the east. And look at this, 30, 40, 50 mile an hour gust here out along the coast. So you can see what I'm talking about, the potential for those power outages as early as this afternoon and evening for parts along the coast. The coast looking at temperatures low to mid 50s today, low 50s for most of us in the valley. Look at the highs, only reaching the 30s and some low 40s here for those higher elevations here off to the east and even up to the north with about 37 degrees out in Weed. Here's your 7-day outlook, and really the main thing you can take from this is that each and every single day we've got rain in the forecast. For the valley, we're looking at winds for tomorrow, Thursday, and quite possibly even into your Friday as well. The coast also seeing rain each and every single day. Snow levels starting off fairly low. They go up and then they may drop back down again here as we go into the weekend and early next week. Taking a look at your 7-day outlook for Siskiyou, Modoc County, and the Eastern Mountains. Also a chance for rain and snow each and every single day. All right, that's your Quickcast. You know, the reason for Quickcast, for those of you that you are new, I have a very in-depth forecast that you can take 15, 20 minutes long. So I like to start off my weathercast. For those of you that are in a hurry, you can just get a quick look at the forecast for the day, and then we go into a deeper dive. And by the way, as we start seeing more rain, more snow, more storm impacts, let's just put it that way, we're going to have a lot of things we can take pictures of. And I want you to share your storm photos with me from the free Weather NorCal app. Now, if you don't have it, just go to your app store, search for Weather NorCal, and download the app for free. And from your phone, you can share your photos. And it's really easy for me to share those photos with everybody else as well. All right, let's get into that deeper dive forecast, taking a look at your weather headlines. Periods of heavy and steady rain this week. We've got the potential for flooding, mudslides, debris flows, heavy snow at lower levels, travel delays, chain requirements, and possibly even on I-5 as we go into this afternoon and especially tonight and tomorrow morning. Gusty winds with the potential for power outages. So there's a lot to unpack here as we go through the next couple of days. Again, you can clearly see that stream of moisture coming in from the west. We've got an area of low pressure right here. There's another one up to the north here. This is all just kind of swinging down. All that moisture just keeps going back into the western Pacific. You see that stream of moisture, then it comes up, and then this flow taps into that moisture, and that is that flow of moisture that we need for the heavy rainfall that we're going to see over the next few days. So let's walk you through the timing. Of course, we saw it in Quickcast, where we're starting to see that rain be kind of slowly, progressively move to the east. By 5 o'clock today, the valley seeing the showers, not much. All right, let's pick up where we left off in Kruger's Quickcast. And you can see by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, look at that. I'm going to say it, but I'm not over dramatizing it. This right here is an atmospheric river, otherwise known as, for those of you that are old school, a pineapple express. And it's just bringing us some good old-fashioned steady rainfall through the day on Wednesday. Now, snow levels are going to be about 2,500, 3,500 feet. I still think there may be some colder air trapped. So places like Mount Shasta City, I-5 may be running into some problems here with chain requirements tonight and into tomorrow morning. Heavy snow often that's kind of in that flow here, but you see less off to the east here. Now also notice when we're talking about an atmospheric river, that it's known as a thin column of moist air moving in. So you can really, on the north or northwest side of that column, you see how it starts to dry out a little bit here. And of course, that's the case as you look down to the south as well. But as we go through the day on Wednesday, you can see that steady rain here for many of us in the valley, that snow fairly heavy. Now, you can see again, we're still seeing the rain for the coast, but it's not going to be quite as heavy as what we're going to see here down to the south and east of the coast. There's 7 p.m. on Wednesday. I mean, we're still seeing that steady flow of moisture coming in, and now the coast getting more involved in that, and we're still seeing some of that snow in the higher elevations. But I have taken those snow levels and put them up a little bit higher, because now that we have the influence of that subtropical air, of that atmospheric river, as it kind of moves in, it has some warmer air associated with it, and that tends to cause the snow levels to rise a little bit once it does kind of mix out some of that colder air. So 6 a.m. on Thursday, still that steady flow of rain, but snow levels 5,000 to 6,000 feet at this point. So we're not concerned about travel delays due to snow, right? We're more concerned about, at this point, mudslides and debris flows, quite honestly, on a lot of those mountain highways. So you can see 5 p.m. Thursday, there it is, all that rain kind of kicking in, and that's going to continue into Friday too. So taking a look at the forecast rainfall totals. These are estimates, keep in mind. But look at this, anywhere from 2.7 in Willows to upwards of 8 inches in Chico. Could that be a possibility? Certainly. I would say on average for the valley, we're talking about 6 inches of rain, give or take. So it just depends on where you are. Not nearly, look at El Turris, only 2,800ths of an inch of rainfall. And the coast, actually not as much as the valley, because there's going to be that point in time, especially on Wednesday, when they're getting less and outside of that upper level flow, less rainfall as a result, but still heavy rain nonetheless. Now there is a winter storm warning for the areas in pink through Wednesday. For the areas in purple, there is a winter weather advisory through Wednesday. Snow levels a little bit higher for the southern Cascades and northern Sierra. So let's take a look at the snow. Now again, we don't want to freak out a whole lot when we take a look at Mount Shasta City. This is Mount Shasta City that we're looking at. 30 to 40 inches of snow. Listen, it's going to be a lot of snow coming down. It may be some wet snow, but this is going to be interesting because Mount Shasta is kind of in that area where it kind of cuts off, getting outside of that atmospheric river flow and getting, and of course, to the south of Mount Shasta. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But could Bernie maybe see some snow? It's borderline. I think Bernie is going to be in that borderline of where we're seeing that 3,000 foot snow level. And then Chester, I think you could be looking at some snow out of this as well here. But you look at the valley, of course, no snow. I know a lot of you in the valley like to maybe talk about that snow, but that's not going to happen. All right, let's take a look at the ski park. This is always fun to look at, especially when we've got snow in the forecast. Through 5 o'clock today, yeah, we're talking about, what, 4 inches? All right, that's not a big deal. But check this out. We're going to take you to Wednesday. There's Wednesday. Look at that. Now we're talking a couple of feet of snow. And then, of course, that continues at least into Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. But again, here's the problem, and hopefully it doesn't create too many problems. That snow is going to turn over to rain eventually. So hopefully you don't melt a lot of the snow that they get in Mount Shasta. Fingers crossed, right? All right, so there you can see what we're seeing here is still some chain requirements out there this morning, so just be aware of that if you are driving a big rig. This is what it looks like on Hatchet Mountain. Looks like some snow flurries up there. There you can see Highway 299, 89, and this is a look at Cedar Pass. Look at that slick road that we have up there. That's why there are chain requirements on Cedar Pass right now. Let's take a look at the road conditions, at least for tomorrow morning. So, all right, here you go. Here's the noon hour today, not much. Maybe Scott Mountain seeing some of that snow up there. Heavier snow is the blue. You see how we're, all right, so here's where we go. We go into tomorrow, this afternoon. We're kind of getting that pink there. That's the rain-snow mix. But that really could most likely be a little bit of snow. I mean, we're seeing heavy snow right around Mount Shasta, right around I-5 region, so we'll have to watch for that. So as we go into tonight, look what happens. Now it's turning into that heavier snow, but the forecast model picking up more in the way of ice. I would say that that's probably going to be snow, so be prepared for chain requirements and even the potential for a road closure on I-5 in this area simply because we could be looking at snow and it could create a lot of problems here. And of course you got more snow off to the east, but not as much. There could be some snow at some of those mountain passes on Highway 299, but I don't anticipate any chain requirements at this point, but obviously something worth watching very closely. Now, let's switch gears and let's talk about the wind. Just this morning, the National Weather Service included the valley with a wind advisory, high wind warning for the coast, and high wind warning for central Siskiyou and into Modoc County as well. Let's take a look at the winds over the next few days. Not that bad here for the valley, or really the rest of us, with the exception of the coast. Already seen the winds gusty this morning. They'll be gusty even especially this afternoon. Winds picking up later today in the valley and for the rest of us. Then you can see here, Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, still some gusty winds out there, and that'll probably continue through Thursday. Now, I do anticipate the strongest winds to most likely be over a lot of those mountain ridge tops, central Siskiyou County, for example, but even the valley seeing off and on gusty winds here as these systems pass on through. All right, so there's the area of low pressure. We're seeing the rain kick in. Now, you can clearly see that atmospheric river heading right for Northern California, and that's what's going to give us that steady rainfall. That then shifts down to the south, but we still have these disturbances rotating around the area of low pressure. That'll keep us unsettled through the weekend with more showers, more snow flurries, even through Sunday. This model doesn't want to bring us much rain on Monday, but I've still got that chance in there on Monday, kind of the transition day, and then we should dry things out by next Tuesday. All right, so let's talk about the atmospheric river and what that is here. All right, so there you can see that nice flow coming in. This is an atmospheric river, otherwise known as a Pineapple Express. It doesn't always mean doomsday, but it does mean we're going to get that, it's like taking a hose and aiming it right at Northern California and just dumping all of that rain on top of us. Now, as you can see, as we go through Thursday, this dives down to the south. We're seeing that trough of low pressure dig even more to the south. That will pretty much cause this to tilt more up to the north and east, still aimed at us on Thursday. But then by Friday, you see how it's beginning to shift down to the south into central and then eventually Southern California by Saturday. So we start to see less of an influence of our rain coming in from the atmospheric river and more of just those scattered showers as we go into Saturday and Sunday. All right. Do want to mention, of course, take that off here. We're going to be anywhere between AR1 and AR3. What does that mean? Well, there is an impact scale with atmospheric rivers, and it can go anywhere from AR1 to AR5, okay? So we are, for the most part, for Northern California, going to average between these three categories here. All right, so let's take a look at one of the forecast models. And again, this is looking at the atmospheric river and its impacts and its overall scale, okay? So you can see here, this is for the coast. We're going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the main area we're focusing on. See how we're kind of in the AR1 to AR2? It's trying to make its way into AR3, but you get the idea. This is not the strongest of atmospheric rivers, but certainly is going to have an impact. All right, there's no doubt about that. Then we go into the foothills east of the valley, and this is pretty typical. We see less of an impact with the atmospheric river, but still kind of in that AR1 and kind of borderline getting to that AR2 for, once again, for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So just kind of wanted to show you that there is some science behind the atmospheric river, and it's not just a fancy term that media likes to use to kind of over-dramatize things. That's not what I do here at Weather NorCal, but I just wanted to give you the science behind that and what's going on. All right, this is coming in from the Storm Prediction Center, giving us that slight to even marginal flood risk here for the coast as early as today. Then we get into the slight to moderate for the coast and even into that slight category for the valley. And then that extends eastward as we go into Thursday. All right, so as a result, the National Weather Service has issued the flood watch here for basically those areas that we did see in the green, yellow, and red. And it's essentially concerned about mudslides, debris flows, and of course, we can't forget about creeks and streams and rivers rising as well. So we've got to watch for all of that, as flooding is certainly going to be a potential and something we got to watch here very closely. But look at the rainfall totals. We saw this a little bit earlier. You can see anywhere from, I mean, look at this. This is the long-range forecast model through Monday, 8 to 9 inches. I mean, could we get close to 10? All right, that might be overdoing it, but you can see the amount of rainfall. And again, this footprint that you're seeing with the heaviest amount of rainfall is where we're seeing that flood advisory, right? So this is where we can see the best potential for that flooding as we expect to see the heaviest amount of rainfall there. This is just looking at a different forecast model, and you can see, I would say anywhere on average, 6, 7, maybe 8 inches of rain. Some areas in the valley may be seeing a little bit more than that. You can see for the coast. Again, there's that footprint again where we're seeing that flood advisory, just not seeing as much off to the north and especially off to the north and east. All right, let's get you to the forecast now. Here's what we got with your wave heights. They're going to be fairly high for today. In fact, they may be increasing as we take you into your Wednesday afternoon, still fairly high. So as we look at our marine forecast, look at the winds out of the southeast, 25 to 30 knots. There is that small craft advisory here for today. Your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures around 40 degrees, give or take. Each and every single day a chance for rain. And of course, snow. Starting off around 2,500 feet, 3,000 feet Wednesday. It looks like about 4,000 to 5,000 feet for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday, around 4,000 feet. So they're going to start off fairly low with that colder air trap, but then they kind of climb again. There you can see 52 degrees for Fortuna, 52 degrees in Garberville, up north, 47 for Orleans, 54 degrees for Smith River, and Gasquet about 53. Here's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures mainly in the 40s, and there you can see snow levels starting off fairly low, and then they kind of drop again here as we go into the second half of the weekend and possibly into Monday. 37 degrees for Tule Lake, 39 degrees for Canby, and there's Eagleville with a high of about 38 degrees. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast. Temperatures around 40, we'll call it low to mid 40s. Shingletown about 42, Paradise about 48 degrees, and your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Walgamith Painting. Your temperatures are going to be in the low 50s. Every single day, we've got rain in the forecast. We've got the winds picking up this afternoon. Looks like gusty winds and very windy conditions here for Wednesday, Thursday, and that may even linger on into your Friday as well. Look for a high of 44 for Lakehead, 45 in Whiskeytown, and 52 degrees in Red Bluff. There's your 7-day outlook for Redding, and temperatures kind of going up and down again. But the warmer influence of that moisture coming in and that moisture feed is going to increase our temperature a little bit and, of course, give us higher snow levels, and then we'll probably see some slightly cooler air move in by Sunday into Monday. That's your morning update. I'll be back again this afternoon with your latest forecast. Have a great morning.
Barr & Mudford is a top, established firm here in the North State. Founded over a half-century ago, Barr & Mudford is protecting the rights of our neighbors and community. We take our commitment to our clients very seriously and provide a level of excellence unrivaled in the North State. Barr & Mudford, standing up for the rights of our neighbors and our beautiful community, serving Northern California with excellence.